So Noah, who's now 11, when I found out that I was having a son as my first child, I thought, what a perfect world.
In 2011, I met Josh, and it was a life-changing experience for me.
I always dreamed of having two children, son first, daughter second. Obviously big brother, so he could watch out for his sister. Of course, he was like any normal little boy, hitting all of his marks, very playful, very fun, very silly. Literally just my dream of what my son was gonna be.
He talked about both of his kids. He talked about Noah's curiosity, and he had this impeccable balance and how he could break into anyone's phone. And with Addison, he talked about how she was a worrywart and always worried about her brother and liked a good schedule and very regulated, and they were so different. And the first time I met them, they both fulfilled everything that he explained. Noah was, the last thing that you notice about Noah when you meet him is that he has autism.
We had noticed a change in Noah around the 17 to 18 month mark. After Noah having that last shot, within a week, we had lost our son. Noah went from saying, Mama, Dada, labeling all the animals, making all the animal noises, to all of a sudden losing his speech, losing his sounds, and went from making eye contact with you and loving on us to wanting to be off in a corner by himself. Went to flapping his arms all the time, and just making groaning noises. So obviously my wife and I at the time, Jerica, knew that something wasn't right. So through doing some research, we were told that we should ask for parents as teachers to come out and evaluate Noah. As parents as teachers came out, after they did their evaluation and they were asking Noah to do the littlest of tasks that I had seen him do 1,000,000 times, asking him to just even respond to his name. And I knew that Noah could do it because I had seen him do it millions of times. He wasn't able to do that, wasn't able to communicate. He wasn't my little boy. Noah at 18 months was at the level of a 3-month-old. Of course, through that period, or as she's telling us this, I just began to sweat. I began to get angry and furious. And of course the thought was, well, obviously you didn't test him right. Obviously you did something wrong. Not my boy. My boy's perfect.
I was super new to the autism world, had very little knowledge on what it was or what it meant to be a parent of a child with autism. And Noah was incredibly smart. He was inquisitive and curious, and he could break into anyone's phone, no matter where it was. Josh was very patient with me being new to the autism world. He answered my questions. He allowed me to dive in head first and learn what it meant to be a step-parent of a child with special needs. And my life will never be the same.
They informed us that we need to make contact with First Steps here in town. They come out, they evaluate Noah, kind of the same concept, but then that's when we found out that something wasn't right. All I wanted was, well, what do I need to do to have my son back to being the little boy that I dreamed of, playing the sports, playing catch with me? And I wasn't getting those answers. But with every little win, we would have a little bit of loss. So we did this for up until, Noah was getting ready to go to pre-K. And we were looking for schools that would work for Noah. As we're doing that, the year goes on and we're thinking, hey, we really need Noah to have more services. We need him to be able to be in his therapies. Mind you, while we're doing ECSE, we're still paying for ABA, we're still paying for PT, we're still paying for all this stuff. And if you have a child on the spectrum and they are labeled with autism, insurances weren't covering that at that time. Any services that you provided for your son or that you got for your child was strictly out of pocket. And so we start looking at different schools in the area for Noah to be able to go to full-time to be able to get services. But the things that we found while we were going to those schools were all the teachers there, they weren't certified. They were trained by somebody to do what they were doing. There wasn't anybody there that had a degree or anybody there that really knew what they were doing. But at the same time, they charged a premium for it. You can downsize your car, you can downsize your home, you can change your lifestyle, and I don't care who you are, $2,500 a month on top of the extra speech and the Dan doctors and the supplements that you're having to buy. That's hard for anybody. I don't care who you are. Our first meeting with the public school system, they already knew that based off Noah's scores that they were going to put him in the district program, which so happens that district program happened to be at Horace Mann. And I'll say this now and I'll come back to it, but that was the best thing that could have ever happened to us. I remember sitting down at the IEP meeting, and you always hear that IEP meetings can be good or bad. And that's where I met Nacy Thornsberry for the first time.
I've had Noah since he was in kindergarten. He's now a 5th grader. He's my family. My whole career, for the most part, has been with Noah. And all of my children have really pulled on my heart and made me realize that not only do I need to focus on evidence-based practices, but also know what's best for each individual child and make sure that their strengths are utilized in their environment so they can be successful.
It was a 3-hour and 45-minute meeting where most parents, it's done in 30 minutes.
That first initial IEP meeting with Josh and Jerica really made me realize how important it is for families to be so supportive of their children and be advocates. Advocacy is a big part of who Perspectives is and who we want to continue to be. And knowing that Josh was there for his child and Jerica was there for her child, it doesn't surprise me now, looking long term, that we are where we're at, because that end game was there all along. The importance of advocating for your child and making sure your child has everything that they need to be successful and use your child's strengths, and they got it from the beginning.
We sat in there and fought for time for Noah not only to get PT and OT, but to be in the classroom with neurotypical children. Everything that we had read and heard is that it was best for Noah to be around neurotypical children as much as possible.
It didn't make sense to put Noah in a secluded environment. His weaknesses were social concerns and language concerns. So we wanted to put him in situations where we were utilizing his strengths and also working on any deficits along the way. So seclusion didn't really make sense. So I started talking with some of my colleagues and finding friends at school that he knew, and we spent the entire summer together. We rode roller coasters, we explored caves, we did everything together. And I think that all of us would say it was the best summer of my life. I learned more from that inclusive experience than I did in my 7 years teaching. And in that experience, Noah gained 3 invaluable friends. And if you ask him who his best friends are, he doesn't say me anymore. He says Kinsey, AJ, and Maggie. It's not me. And for the first time in my entire life, I'm so excited to take 4th place. But it was an experience for him that changed his life and also changed mine.
2 years ago, when I had mentioned to Nacy Thornsberry about the possibility of a school, and the interest that she showed, we didn't really know what direction to possibly go or what to do. Noah used to attend a day camp during the summer when school wasn't in, and it was a great program for children to be able to go to and keep them active and busy for the day or throughout the summer. But one thing that I realized for the 2 summers that we had done that is that it seemed like every year Noah would go back to school, he had taken 20 steps backwards. So we obviously wanted to come up with something different. So that's when my wife Courtney and I had decided, you know what? We said we'd do whatever it took for Noah to progress and get better. And so let's ask Nacy if for the summer we could hire her to work with Noah one-on-one or and go from there.
We started the conversation with Nacy basically just doing a one-on-one program with Noah. We wanted to focus on his strengths, we wanted to hone in on the skills that we felt like he was falling behind in, and we really wanted to fix some of the habits that he had gained throughout the year. With that, the conversation started with Nacy about possibly including other children in this summer program, whether it was children that were on the autism spectrum or it was just students that were having other social behaviors or concerns during the school year. Perspectives Preparatory Academy's goal is to fund every student that walks through our doors. As a parent of a student who has a special need, regardless of what it is, you already have so much stress of creating a future for them, making sure that you're supporting and encouraging their strengths for the future. The last thing that you should have to worry about is getting your child to school and making sure that they're getting an education. You being in this chair this evening is creating an opportunity for those families. It's creating an opportunity for that student to be able to go to college or have a career or be an asset to society, just like every parent wants their children to. So thank you for being here. We couldn't be here without you. Thanks for making our dream a reality and creating a future for these families.
Thank you.